but it's so difficult to get through the lane. So Shopify, I think, in the back of their minds, they're probably aware of this. Funnick has played it before, so they'll just make sure they pick a carry that has a little bit of laning presence to prevent that.
All right, what's it going to be for RTZ? Final pick coming out for Shopify Rebellion, considering their options. And again, this is a somewhat important series for them to win, so don't expect to see anything clowny coming out here. This is going to be a well-considered pick.
I think RTZ's hero is like, this is cool. It's like, it doesn't really matter so much. I actually think Shopify have such a strong like identity on the other 4 heroes that RTZ, all he really needs to do is just find farm and carry the game later on.
Just be confident, right?
Yeah. Because they're going to be playing with like the Wolf Vision from Lycan. They're going to be playing with the Mirana ult to like invade map space. And then you have like ways to make plays literally everywhere. Like this Disrupt to Storm are just going to be going around together, playing and picking off.
And we mentioned the lack of lockdown from Bait. It's like, it's already hard enough to kill a Storm. Now try and lock down a Lycan. And now try and lock down some 2 or 3 item anti-mage. And yeah, going to what Sheep was mentioning, it's like this could have been a PA, an anti-mage. Like, literally any big core that scales. The rest of the previous 4 heroes look really nice, and Bait, they doubled down on trying to break the map. I'm skeptical these are the heroes to be able to do it, especially into Disruptor plus Lycan and Storm. It's a lot of reacting rather than being proactive. They don't have tower damage to force the map and to force reactions. They're just going to be able to go, Lycan's hitting our tower, let's TP defend it. But that kind of motion gives anti-mage complete free farm. So it's hard.
So is there a way to shut down this anti-mage in this draft sheet?
It looks a little rough because it looks like it's a core Undying. Which is
Undying as well into the
anti-mage. I think anti-mage just takes
Okay.
all your mana and then you don't have any way to decay and then everything just kind of sucks. If his lane was able to go well, I would feel pretty good because you can just get this like shard stuff and do a 15-minute Roshan, which is pretty cool, and then you could like turn up the tempo with all your heals. So I'm guessing that's what they're hoping happens for them, but I don't think that lane wins against anti-mage.
It seems tough. Final thoughts, team?
Really hard for Bait. I think it's going to be just perfect play for them to try and win this one. I greatly prefer Shopify's lineup. And that's it. We can spill the tea after the game.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, panel. Yes, indeed. They are leaning pretty heavily towards the Shopify Rebellion side. As am I would say, but I think Bait do have some tools to be able to take the fight to the side of Shopify Rebellion. Hopefully, we see a bit of life coming out from them, and we're going to see a lot of life coming out from our casters. We've got OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much. Nomad, looking forward to this one. Shopify ready to go up against Bait. Fogged, we heard some of the concerns of the panel. Do you sort of resonate with that? You feel that Bait, they've kind of not got all the answers that they may have needed to deal with what Shopify got through with this lineup?
Man, it's looking rough, Owen. I'm trying to wrap my head around the way that they set up some of these like early picks and stuff like that, because I feel like Shopify, they got literally everything they possibly could have wanted.
Yeah, it seems strong.
And like finishing up the draft with a Pango into the Storm Spirit. Yes, mid-game and stuff like that, perhaps we can see some fruition come from this Pango, but this is we've seen a lot of times in the games that we've casted in Europe, in China and stuff like that, Storm is a counter pick to Pango in the mid lane. Quite consistently, you have a pretty good lane versus that Pango, and I feel like they didn't answer really this Lycan too much whatsoever either. I feel like Saberlight, he's got another one of those games where he's got a ton of freedom.
We'll see. I mean, as you said yourself, kind of coming into the draft, right? This was to be expected from Shopify, that they were going to try and set things up to get Saberlight this sort of hero, get the Lycan.
For sure.
So you've got to imagine that Bait, with their preparation, they must feel that what they've ended up playing with this game is going to be able to provide answers that we might not necessarily be able to see ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to see something come out of it. I'm just very concerned because I've seen time and time again, Lycan as a counter pick to Drow, Storm as a counter pick to Drow, and they picked this into it. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if Bait's able to do some type of crazy, astonishing stuff, but it looks incredibly difficult just from the drafts.
Sure. Do you like the decision to sort of have the Kotl Undying the way around that they have? Putting Funnick on the core Undying this game?
Not so much, really, honestly. But
well, what are the problems with it?
Their draft is just very limited on this catch department, right? Their entire catch is going to be coming from Lodin. All the catch really is going to be this Clockwork. Dendy, he's going to have a bit of a tough lane, so his catch is going to be lackluster until he's got something like Blink Dagger. But let's see if they can surprise. I mean, the double decay is something we've seen from a few teams. before. I believe it was Gaming Gladiators, right? I think who did the Undying offlane with the Coddle support, and they just kept pumping him up to try to pressure. So maybe they're going to be able to do something neat with this, but versus Anti-Mage, it does feel like it can get a little bit difficult as the lane progresses. If they're able to endure the first few levels, then not sure what the Undying is going to be able to do.
Oh. Pause it. See if everything's all good to go. A bit of the old lag.
Yeah. Top is all about like stomping lane. That's what this lane is kind of built to do, but can definitely struggle when it's something versus like an AM who is just going to play around sitting back and just playing passive and getting these last hits until he has Ring of Health.
Really now, you should have seen that coming.
Fly could potentially die here.
He's got to stay.
He's okay.
Yeah, he'll be good. Back under tower, just trying to soak up some of the focus from Stamanen and Funnick.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking a lot at mid lane because Abed, we saw what he was able to do yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, right? Yeah, versus now. Oh, they're having some trouble. I believe it was yesterday versus Nouns, right? He really crushed the lanes. Both games, he solo killed Gunner in the matchup. It was a Puck versus a Pango. Sometimes we see these Pangos able to do pretty good versus Puck. He killed him. And this one, he's already off to an 8-2 last hit, so he hasn't missed a single one just yet. It's a lane where Storm really can dominate and get the solo kill potential onto the Pango.
Sure. And then sort of things going down on the bottom half of the map of this bottom lane. Is Saberlight kind of chilling down here, or can Bait sort of push him out the first few waves?
Bait can do some stuff down here. I think this is their, in my opinion, this is their strongest lane in the early game. It's
Clock Drow, right? Clock Drow, regardless, it's kind of the one of the best pairings to have with the Drow right in the lane.
It's either Undying or it's Clockwork. Those, in my opinion, are the two best that you can actually pair up with, unless you have just some very strong like dual melee or dual range versus like some dual melee. That being said, though, mid game, that's where I have the concerns for Stonebank on this Drow. Getting run down by a Lycan, getting jumped by a Storm, getting surrounded also from like Moonlight Shadow and all the vision that's going to be provided from the Wolves. And what? Who's having? It was
Dendy's
Mr.
having
Dendy's
some
having
issues
some
at the moment with
okay.
the old lag.
Alrighty. And who it was 2 for 2 bounty runes, and both sides actually did end up getting 2. So. Ooh, Crit actually started with that's kind of cool. So Crit started with a Blightstone, not something too common that you see on a Disruptor. But they want to play aggressive. I mean, Saberlight is very, very strong at this on this Lycan. So
yeah, I mean, I like it because you know that Saberlight's going to have his wolves out. You know, he's going to keep them under support. Why not add a bit of minus armor in there? You know, you're going to have to deal with this clock running at you. You want to be able to trade nicely back with him, and Blightstone could do well for that.
Yep, he's got a Ring of Protection, so he counters it on loading. We do see that he maybe anticipated the harassment that he's going to be taking here. But he does have to be careful if you overextend in this lane at all, especially as a Clockwork too. The Glimpse, we've seen this time and time again now, being leveled first. Does significant damage. It's got very low cooldown.
Apologies for this, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we should be good to go pretty soon. Dendy's back in the game.
Okay.
Hopefully the issues have fixed themselves.
And he's ready.
Let's see, we're in the mid lane. You've got Abed just having his own career on the way out. Dendy, a couple of creeps, and then his will be on the way to the bottom. Get the glimpse on him. He's going to get brought very, very low. Won't quite go down, but heavy damage here from Crit and Saberlight.
Loading not going to salve him. He's going to salve himself to be able to try to soak some of that pressure, but that's going to give free last hits here to Saberlight and Crit for a few waves. Yeah, I'm still looking at mid. Let's see if Abed does miss a CS in these, first 4 or 5 waves or something like that. Right now, again, still hasn't missed one. 12-3. Let's see if I jinx him.
Nice, he's not missing any of these. Let's have a look.
He's
Easy
ready.
CS.
He's on it. Should get both these with the Remnant. Oh
and
my
it's
goodness,
actually
and
bottom
we distract
lane.
them.
That first blood's going to happen. We'll see if Loading can get Crit in return. We'll manage to get him there. Gets in under the tower, takes him out. But the damage already done there with Saberlight being able to claim that first bit of action.
Did I make our observer look mid the whole time? I did.
No, I think if you watch back in slow-mo, we were able to switch down there just in time. Our man was on it.
Very nice. Back to the important things. Oh, he missed one. He did end up missing just one. All right, now we don't need to look at that lane anymore. Nah, he's still going to crush it. 19-3. He's only missed the one. He's doing excellent in the matchup versus Dendi. Dendi does have a wave coming in, should be able to farm, but always under the threat of getting killed, of course, as you see there. Bottom again.
I mean, they're finding these opportunities to drag Stonebank into some very unfortunate positions. He's taking a lot of damage as the Drow here with kind of crit coming in with the good bits of control, good bits of glimpse action.
This is that important lane. I feel like this is the lane that has to kind of win for them, too. A Drow off to a slow start versus heroes that can gap close on top of her. Definitely problematic. Seeing Stormon in, it looked like he was making a rotation toward mid, maybe to like snipe some courage or something like that, but then immediately TP's top to help out Funnick. As they almost actually get Arteezy there. He has to be a little careful.
Yeah, I mean, top lane, right? It's
not bad.
Cottle undying, it's going pretty good so far. Funnick, he's having free farm, and definitely not a situation where there's any sort of pressure from this, and Arteezy on the anti-mage burning his mana or anything, because Cottle's just giving him more, and he's able to continue to spam the decay.
I guess, okay, what Stormon maybe was trying to do is kill the ring of health on the courier that was coming out, right? Because we see that so often now is a lot of these like AMs and stuff like that. You don't really play to get your ring from their side shop. You get it from your own, and then you drag your courier all the way. So maybe he was able to get it, but Arteezy, he does end up getting his. And Arteezy's actually going to drag wave. He's actually getting kind of annoyed versus this lane, versus the constant decay spam.
Bottom. Lodin is going to try and stand his ground against crit. But the Wolves are coming in, and well, the Lodin, he'll get the kill. And with the help of Stonebank.
Don't body block him. Oh, God, Stonebank.
Was a little bit risky there, Lodin. Nearly tripped up by his own teammate, but he'll make it out.
And I like the skill build. Lodin, he opts to not go for cogs, which I think is pretty cool. This time he's playing versus Lycan Wolves, so wants to have that damage that he can commit to ensure that he can focus fire and kill the Wolves and even kill crit perhaps, so it's working. Not bad. Lane's looking okay. Top lane's going way better than I thought it would. Arteezy, as we said, he's doing something you don't really see in this safe lane, but he's pulling the creeps all the way behind his tier 2, so they're just refusing to play the lane versus this annoying Undying.
Yeah, I mean, the Undying Cottle lane is definitely causing some chaos up top here from Bait. Funnick is in beyond the tower, and he slaps down Fly. Back down bottom, Lodin. Sal's there from crit, and that means that this ain't going to be a kill, and he's not even able to stop the Sal from ticking crit up in the HP department.
And Stonebank, he's got what? He's got regen coming out, okay. Because Stonebank, don't walk up. Wait till your clockwork comes back.
But, all things said and done, 5 minutes in so far, and it's a pretty close start.
Yeah, and look at top. They actually are able to... Oh, Arteezy, he short blinks. He might actually get chased out here. There's going to be another decay.
They're definitely going to try and run him down when they see that sort of opportunity. See if he can play his way through the trees. Damana's got eyes on him. Blinks back up in a second. And, it's another... Okay. A bit of an awkward blink.
He's looking in trouble.
He's struggling.
He might just get hit here. One more point.
They got him.
Okay.
Yeah, the blink's not working out for Artur here.
Those are very short blinks. I mean, yes, it's only 700 blink range, but he blinked like into trees, kind of like right next to them. All right, gets punished.
That's big. I mean, they're honestly big kill top. There's the Cottle Undying. It's doing what it needs to be doing.
What did Funnick end up losing? His courier actually walked into the tower and suicided. I didn't get to see what was on it. Bit unfortunate for him.
It was the completed phase boots. The blaze of attack and the chainmail.
That kind of hurts. I mean, that would have allowed them to play super aggressive, even more aggressive than they already are.
Sure.
But still, all in all, the lane's looking pretty good. Of course, mid, we're seeing Abed having that very successful time in the mid, but
he's going to come down bottom, come in for a bit of a gank. He's on top of Lodin. See if any way Lodin can get out of this. Got Stonebank by his side, and Abed running low on the mana. We'll get the job done as they take out Lodin. Crit with the Thunder Strike.
How long on the courier? They're going to go immediately onto Funnick, but Arteezy has to back away right away afterwards. He's landing multiple double decays, another one. He's at 24 strength.
They're really crushing it, honestly, Funnick and Stamana. Really strong laning so far.
And we saw Stamana take the Solar Bind even at like level 2, so looking to just play more around aggression rather than playing any type of farm. Really cool stuff. All right, not bad. Not bad for the early game here.
Yeah, I feel like kind of across the regions, we've seen games where sometimes in these matchups where they're very much as a strong kind of favorite in terms of expectations, the lanes get out of control and then the game seems impossible. But so far with the opening to this one, Bait giving themselves a solid start against the big lads on Shopify.
Yeah. They're slowing down the anti-mage, which is important. The big concern still is that the Lycan and the Storm are having that very good game, and they're the ones who kind of just counter a lot of the real carry potential from Bait coming from that Drow Ranger. So it's great that Funnick's able to apply pressure here, and we'll see what he's going to build into to continue that pressure. But they're still having some issues of catch and control versus Storm and Lycan.
I mean, it's going to be the straight sort of right click here, phase into Echo Saber for his offlane build.
I like that I like that they're going down their own style to try to find something to win versus Shopify here. Getting some stacks prepared too. We see Stormani getting them ready, pumping up Dendi. Abed actually, he's somehow able to snag the Invis rune. Right under there.
Guessing gets out.
Stonebank forced to TP to base. Saberlight, even without the shapeshift, was able to force him out.
Top lane, they're going for Funnick. He's going to get that extra burst of mana. Will allow him to get one more decay off onto the two of them. Arrow's going to be tanked by Stamana, but Arteezy's still in on top of Funnick. Won't be able to stay on target, though. Funnick. He's going to be able to get another decay
double
off onto the two of them. Nice. And indeed, even in those situations, Shopify at this moment in time, it's not easy for them to kill this Undying.
Dendi making the move bottom. Shapeshift is available, though, so they will force it at the least. And he does hold the Rolling Thunder, which is nice. So the next aggressive move might be able to find something. Stonebank. Got to be careful versus Abed. This is a level 8 Storm, and he's only level 5.
Yeah, they could dive him in.
He didn't skill the Gust either, so yeah, he's just
they're just going to go straight for him. He shows himself under the tier 1 tower. No hesitation from Abed as Saberlight comes in to borrow the kill.
Saberlight's like, oh, my shapeshift was actually very useful as I made it to the mid lane to find the Drow anyway. And that's the tier 1 mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Immediately Saberlight just TP's bottom also, barely ends up missing anything. He's got like a juicy double, triple wave.
Oh, Lodine.
Lodine?
I mean, this weren't the place to be for the Drow, and it's certainly not the place to be for the Clockwork. 2 easy kills here for Shopify in the mid.
He got the Dominator creep, though. You know, he's a little happy at the least. But yeah, more kills being given up. And Abed gonna continue moving around. He's full mana.
It wants to help Arteezy out on this top lane now.
Yeah.
It's ready to swing up towards mid.
Funnick.
Oh.
Oh.
Turn towards Fly. Crit. It's here to help out.
Glimpse under the tower. Funnick gets pumped up for mana again.
Well, let's see.
Oh.
With Mana Void available, Arteezy's able to take the kill, and Abed, he's finally turned up and ready to help them secure both of the kills on this top lane. So now Shopify starting to speed things up. They can double the kills, 2k lead. The game is getting faster, and we'll see if Bait are able to keep up with this. Because this is could certainly be when it begins to get scary for Bait.
Yeah, especially if they lost mid tower, they lost their safe lane tower as well. And we see that Shopify, they do have full vision of the Drow Ranger at the moment farming this triangle if they do want to look to make some invasive play. And yeah, I think even though the AM is slowed down a tiny little bit here, as I mentioned, the Lycan and the Storm, who are honestly, they're kind of like the true carries, they're having phenomenal games.
Funnick dropping the tombstone here, just zoning Arteezy out of the lane so they can keep the pressure onto this tier 1 tower.
They don't have the liberty of like some Lycan to just super pressure these towers, though. It takes them quite a bit more time to hit this because Stonebank, he can't go up there. If he shows up in the top lane, they will make rotations and just kill this Drow.
Smoke out now from Shopify. They're ready to try and sweep this area of the map, wrap around behind this push of Bait on the top lane. And at the moment, we'll have the potential to outnumber them. Arteezy ready to get involved. Mana Void is back up.
They got Static Storm.
Set up onto Dendi. As not a chance for him to escape this one. See if Lodine or Funnick can play their way out of here. As Shopify choosing their target. They want to try and find Funnick in the trees. TP still on cooldown.
Uh-oh.
And Arteezy's found him. Gets the vision. Now glimpse him back as Funnick. He's got stick charges. He's got one more decay to play with. But no way out of this one. Mana Void from Arteezy. And the kill will be claimed.
And Saberlight looking for a dive. Is he using a regular melee creep?
He is.
He dominated a regular melee creep to look for Stamanen.
Won't be quite enough, I don't think, to get him. Yeah, indeed, the heals there as well. Stamanen will be able to escape.
He put a tree down also to block the path. He put a branch down when it was all chasing him to try to protect himself. So cute little play. Good aggressive move from Shopify, though.
I mean, we'll see this as well. I mean, I'm all up for an innovation, but I don't know if it's going to work. Funnick, he's going to actually change up, and he wants to go there. He wants to try and get a Radiance online for the team.
He's like, Stonebank, you're not carrying this game. I'm going to try to move.
I mean, when you're off lane, Undying queues up the Radiance. I think that's certainly what the message is.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he actually doesn't do this, but I'm not sure what he should build either way at this point, just to try to protect himself. Because Undying, when you're playing as an offlaner, it's all about just having like a perfect game. If you die like 3 times, your game is kind of just over. Especially with the matchups that you're up against when you have no real catch versus 3 mobility heroes.
We see here on the odds provided to us by our partner esportsbet.io, they feel that this one is not going too great here for Bait. And kind of outside the first 5 minutes, I tend to agree. This game, it looks difficult for Bait right now. Shopify, they're making moves, they're getting the catches, they're getting the kills. Killing spree for Abed. As I mean, you can see on the KDA, what we've got 305 Saberlight, 304 Abed. These two are popping off, and that's very likely to give more than enough space for Arteezy to hit the creeps, get his items, and be ready to close up the game when they wish.
He's got the Battle Fury also, so it's not a Treads Battle Fury at the 13-minute mark, which is like the, your ideal, but he's still going to have that Battle Fury and stack, so it's good enough.
It's absolutely still a good time, considering that they did lose the Tier 1 top early, and it just wasn't a very fun lane for the anti-maze to play.
No. Bait, they got to start getting some pairings together with Dendi, looking for some type of aggressive plays soon here to make space, because soon map's going to shrink even more for Stonebank. And it's just Shopify making every single move. It feels like Lodin might actually get the solo kill here. Just kidding.
Yeah, backup comes in. Arteezy ready to get involved. Fly will take the kill though. And Saberlight also making the moves as he dives in. Takes down Stonebank. Dendi's got to put the Rolling Thunder just in an effort to escape this part of the map.
I've seen Saberlight do this so many times with his summon heroes. It's 13 minutes. He's completely taken over the map.
And now in a Roshan. I mean, this game, as I say, I think it was sort of 4-4, and now it's 4-13. Yeah. Shopify, kill after kill after kill. Bait, they're struggling to find anything right now.
They just don't have, honestly, they just don't really have stuns. Like, they actually just don't. So getting these type of easy kills,
they got to go for a steal.
For Shopify. They got to go
Clockwork's too far behind. He's too far away, though. It's going to rely on Dendi kind of jumping in.
Can they get the 2 inside so they get vision? They can. Let's see, Dendi. Can you get it?
I mean, Shopify have stepped like completely out of the pit. And Fly, you'll have to put the leaf to get out Dendi. He's jumping in. They've taken out Fly. They've taken out Saberlight.
They'll get it.
I mean, Storm can go for a steal, but indeed Bait's just going to get it. I mean, Shopify, it kind of felt like they were a bit too scared then. They just sort of stepped out the pit whilst Roche was on 5% HP. I mean, what were they so concerned about? Did they maybe think that Rolling Thunder was back up when it wasn't? They were terrified.
I mean, Tombstone is pretty scary, but he put it right in front of them. So
yeah, well, there you go. Bait, they get the Aegis. They get the kill. They get the kill as well, right? They get everything.
They do. Phoenix like now. He's like, okay, now I can definitely.
Oh,
go
absolutely.
Radiance.
He's like, all right, we're getting that relic, boys.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, well, Bait's going to be very happy with that one, and yeah, I think Shopify going to be a bit disappointed they let that one slip.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Dendi now he's got the Fusel Blade. So definitely perhaps some aggressive potential. I want to see them pair up. I still want to see them do the similar stuff where they're pairing up with Dendi, pairing up with this Clockwork, and looking for these type of kills on these easier targets. Yeah, Relic is done.
Honestly,
I don't think I've ever seen a Radiance Undying though. It sounds pretty awful. I got to be honest with you, but.
I mean, you've got infinite HP. If you hit decays, it's.
I mean, the Radiance Miss.
How can you die? You just
Radiance Miss versus Lycan summons.
Radiance Miss. I mean, obviously the Radiance Miss chance is good, but it is obviously a question of are you going to be able to survive in these fights with just Phase and Radiance?
That is the question. Lodin. Whoa! Point blank miss.
Well, he'll definitely lose his life for that one.
Whoops.
Not sure what he was going for there, but apparently it wasn't anything.
Can they get a glimpse? Crit. Still 8 seconds, so not going to be able to. But they're going to look to invade, it looks like, into the triangle, perhaps. Saberlight, he's running in. Oh, he's found the Black Dragon, the dream.
Oh, that is the dream, isn't it? Beautiful.
So Aegis was claimed, but let's see what they're going to be able to make of it. Because still, we're seeing Anti-Mage getting this free farm.
Yeah, I mean, you got, what, top 3 cores on the net worth here for Shopify Rebellion. Yep, sure, you had that bit of a blunder around the Roshan pit, but you're still feeling in a very good spot with how much your cores are getting. You know that you're just getting that little bit more than Bait, and with what Bait have, unless Bait are killing you, they're probably not closing this gap in gold.
No, definitely not. And I'm surprised to see that Lodin actually, I saw him jetpack, right? I'm surprised to see he purchases that so early in the game.
Top lane, Abed gets a freebie. He's able to take down that Undying alone.
Well, he had a dragon as well. Come on.
Well, okay, the ancient black dragon was helping, I suppose. Bottom lane, set up here with the static storm from Crit. As they'll glimpse Dandy back into the static storm. That's the Aegis gone. They won't try and take him down a second time. They'll react to the fact that backup was coming in. Give him some respect.
Fly still in the area. Can't really go for anything here, but Crit is walking back over, so maybe they will look for another play. They have Abed pretty close. He's half mana. Rune spawns top. It's an arcane
It's an
rune.
arcane. Glorious rune here for the Storm Spirit.
I feel like Dendy might have to just go for Shard next, so at least he can prevent the glimpse plays and pulling him into the static constantly. Some type of protection instead of going for the blink early, even though it does feel like lackluster because of their catch being so limited with no real stuns. I think he still probably has to go for Shard, and yeah, he'll purchase it. As we're seeing that cheeky ward that we saw earlier from China.
Yeah, this is
also they won by the secret shop. Yeah, we've been seeing this one quite a
becoming a new
bit.
popular one, right?
Yeah, I really like this one.
I don't know who kind of started it,
Not sure.
but yeah. So the spot never gets dewarded really. Oh, it did that one time because there was a fight in the area, but of course gives great information regarding when stacks are being made.
Yeah, I really like this ward because usually you see people put the sentry like to check the ancient area and the high ground area and stuff like that, but you don't really put it on the left side so much. So yeah, it's a cute ward. I really like that one.
You see where the pulls go, and also gives you good info on like what people are picking up from the secret shop.
Yep.
Which obviously tends to be big components of very important items. So you get really good information regarding that. That sort of progression.
Dandy being scouted. Roll up. Oh, he canceled it.
He did?
He double tapped.
That's unfortunate. That will cost him his life. And same time, Arteezy was able to take down Funix. So that Radiance is going to be put back a few minutes once again.
Wait, right, he did. Yeah, I mean, he absolutely double tapped, right? Because if he gets pulled out of it, oof. That hurts. That's some big kills now for Shopify again. Getting things back into order after botching their Roche attempt, of course. Tier 2 tower mid. Saberlight cleanly pushing it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
All right, Crit. I mean, Crit right now has Shard queued up, but this is a pretty bad Shard.
Wait, Shard?
It's pretty horrible.
I don't
The
think
old Shard was good.
Yeah,
The
well, the one
Shard's
that you can throw down on your allies gives them a bit of boost to attack speed, right? And stuff.
Yeah. Abed, though, look at this, bullying 2 heroes by himself. Now he's got a friend.
Yeah, they're trying going on him with the hook shot, but nothing to stop this Storm cleaning them both up.
Abed just going for a, crazy stat build, right? He's got the double null, treads, wand, Kaya Sanj, super tanky, 7-0 and 6 on this Storm's build. I mean, there's just no, like we said, pretty much no disable to deal with Abed. Dendy, he shows himself up top as well.
That's risky.
He's got to roll up. Fully defensive roll up though. We'll have
Catch
to
on the
back
replay
away.
here, Fog. Check this out. Oh, it's just a move earlier with Abed dealing with the two of them on his own.
Just him 2v1ing pretty much. I mean, got a little bit of help, but it was mostly Abed.
Frustrations being shown there by Bait.
And Arteezy, soon to be top net worth. Battle Fury, Manta's done, level 15 online. He's been given, all the space in the world, really, from his buddies. And wait, he's got another Ring of Health?
He wants to get the Abyssal.
I guess so. And Crit actually does commit for the Shard, so yeah, you don't see this purchased.
Yeah, well, you think that he's memeing a little bit there?
What do you think? Maybe he wants to try it. This would be the game to kind of try, like a concept of Lycan out or something like that for the buff up the summons. But this Shard, it's
if like Arteezy or Saberlight are hitting the same target as Thunderstrike, they're melee heroes. They're going to be close enough getting that attack speed buff.
Sure. If you're hitting the target that's being focused from it, maybe it's not as bad. It's pretty bad, but whatever. It used to be so good. I was so sad when they changed. It's been an age, of course, since they did change it, but it was always a fun one. Shopify, they're in. Abed, he's on top of Stonebank.
See Loading try and help out with the hook shot. Does give Stonebank a bit of a chance to get back to the high ground. But they'll still find him. And Lodine will be controlled as well. The field's down from Crit. 21-6. Getting into some, quite the crazy lead here in kills. Funnick.
His Radiance. Oh no.
Not going to do too much against an anti-mage, unfortunately. As Arteezy in on top of Funnick with the rest of the gang. It's definitely starting to get a little bit messy this game.
They still have a deep ward too. Abed, he's going to get the jump.
Oh, swashbuckles off in time though. Dendi will manage to survive.
Gem picked up for Fly. I mean, they're just crushing the map, crushing the control of everything. Very limited space now at this point for Bait. As Shopify continue to constrict that, getting absolute free farm for Arteezy as they just keep playing aggressive. I feel like Abed always has mana somehow. He's very good at just using his mana on Storm Spirit. And they are going to scout Rosh. It's a long spawn.
Not in any rush here, Shopify. I can hold the map until that's ready for taking.
Oh my.
He's done on Saberlight.
Oh my god, he is huge. Saberlight's level 14 AC. He's got like all the timings. And AC is so much more valuable when you're playing versus something like Drow, of course, as we always talk about. Plus armor, the dream.
My Bait, they're out with the smoke.
They've got the blink on Dendi. Who can they find? It's just so difficult. Killing all three of the cores is, as we've said multiple times, so damn difficult since they're so mobile versus the limited stuns. And the ward's actually getting dewarded from an illusion.
Lodine, he will take the bait there.
I mean, he knew it was an illusion, right? It's hitting the ward multiple times, so the glimpse, it's on Stonebank.
It's going to get him in the Static Storm. They're trying to heal him up. They're trying to save the Drow, but they can't. Dendi is in with the Rolling Thunder. We'll get the first connection on the Saberlight. Does knock him down to the low ground. Still, he's able to get away from the rest of Bait. They can't control the wall. Saberlight escapes. Jump forward from Arteezy, and with the Mana Void, they take out Funnick. There's 2 dead on Bait. Maybe more here. Dendi cannot TP out in time. They'll lose Lodine to the Black Dragon. 4 dead on Bait. Nothing to be lost here on Shopify.
They just, I mean, how many times have we seen them just catch Stonebank? Every single one of these times. He's 0-6 on this Drow. We did say it was going to be that difficult game. They picked it into a lot of these counter heroes. And they just keep finding him. I mean, the vision, of course, from Shopify has been excellent from wards, but they also always have these wolves to scout and get those glimpse plays as well.
Stamanen.
He's seen.
Looks like we may get effectively the team wipe here. The 5th and final member of Bait also taken out. Abed now godlike.
Something we're very used to seeing, of course, in this NA region. An Abed godlike, an Abed rampage, something like that.
I mean, out of sort of the heroes that Shopify have, is there kind of one in particular that when you saw the draft, you kind of step back and you're like, how did they get this hero this game?
It was the Storm and the Lycans.
Storm
it just
and the
felt
Lycans.
so damn good versus this Drow. And they picked it into it, so. Difficult stuff. The opener for me was just weird a bit there from Bait. Maybe they'll adjust it next time, but just having no real stuns in your draft sets up for a very difficult game to play.
And he's going to walk and get arrowed.
Farewell.
Let's see what they can do with the shapeshift now. Shopify, they're ready to strike. They have the glimpse here to take Lodine out for the safety of his cogs. Lodine's gone. They're looking for Stonebank now as well. Desperately trying to scramble back up towards the high ground. Dendi will be able to blink back up there to safety. The rest will survive. So with that pushback there, Shopify, they've created more than enough space for them to head into the Roche pit. And this time, they shouldn't have any trouble finishing this off without any interruptions from Bait.
And this is where the shard on the Disruptor would look good, but oh, he actually used it on the Lincolns of the Roche, so. Now we'll see. There we go. Everyone buffed up for 1 second there.
Abed with the Aegis. And honestly, not that he needed it anyway. He hasn't died this game. I doubt he'll even lose the Aegis with how smooth of a game he's having.
They're giving vision with the arrow. Does Crick get the glimpse? He does, but he's got the roll up, so we'll be fine.
Oh, that's easy. There's some good aggression. He just walks up into the base, knowing that they can't do anything about that.
Black Dragon to scout. Abed's in.
He'll get Stamanen. See if he can play around with Funnick as well.
Sure can.
With the DD rune, he'll be easily able to get both of them. An unsuccessful kill secure there from Arteezy's Mana Void. As Abed claims the 2 of them. See Lodine He's going for crit, but he can't finish him. Crit's gonna live. Loading goes down. It's 3 dead again, and nobody going down on Shopify. Arteezy, he's ready to start diving here.
Radiant's top tower is
He's
under
taunting him.
attack.
Just standing in the base, no creeps. I'll just farm here. Thank you.
Ready to play, of course, now with the Ags. Throw those illusions in, which can be very annoying to deal with. And definitely make you think twice about which one's the real one and how prepared you are to jump when you see an anti-mage blink in on you.
They can really do anything. I mean, if you wanna pull up that win probability for us, it's only 28 minutes, but
we got a
it's
1%.
No, it hasn't been already for a while. It's been 100 for about 5 minutes.
Oof.
To be expected when AM is just able to do pretty much anything he wants on the map, and the Storm and the like can completely control everything. But Bait, they're gonna stick in it. They're gonna keep trying here.
Here we go.
I'm surprised. There's a bunch of things I'm surprised about. Like just not going for 4-staff on Lodi, not 4-staff on Stoneman into. Obviously, these things wouldn't win them the gamer, but it could definitely make things a little easier to protect Stonebank.
All right, we're going to try and set up here onto the Mirana. It's not going to work out for them. Dendi will get the roll up on in time. It's easy trying to find a target. He's going to get bitten. He's turned into the wolf, and he's ready to go.
The blinking wolf.
See what he can find. Already TP out for Stonebank. Will save Stonebank. Stomanen, he'll get left behind. Dendi also able to escape with the TP. So
They're going to call it.
They may have been able to get the majority of them out of that fight, but yeah, they respect the fact that this one's at a 0%. There's no coming back in this one. GG's called. Shopify Rebellion will take this first game of the series.
They tried to do something in their own style, right? With the Coddle Undying opener. First, 5 minutes or something like that, they were able to apply a little bit of pressure, but this just looked like a pretty, like this Drow game. Like, how do you play Drow versus Lycan and Storm? There's not really a whole lot that you can do. Lost their mid tower, they lost their safe lane tower. Full out aggression from Shopify, and that's without Arteezy really showing up too much, right? They were doing it as 4. They're winning the game 4v5, essentially. So for Bait, I mean, besides just draft, gameplay needs to be fixed, but I think step 1, Coddle Undying, it's a risky move to go for. You have to literally completely stomp your lane, and then they didn't even fix things to have more type of stuns.
I mean, the lane was okay, right? The first 5 minutes of this game, it didn't look too bad for Bait, but every minute after that looked kind of exponentially worse and worse and worse. Shopify looking fantastic. But as you said, maybe there's a chance Bait can kind of give themselves off to a bit of a better start with a better draft next time. We'll see if they're able to do that, or if once again Shopify is able to slam them down as this game 1. They certainly slammed them down hard. Shopify take game 1.
Thank you very much, Owen and Fog. Yes, indeed, there's another Shopify victory here, and this one, unfortunately, was not very close. Laning phase, it didn't go great, and then they just collapsed in on them. I mean, what were the strongest aspects of Shopify Rebellion's gameplay in that early mid?
Who do you want to take it? Come on.
I was looking at you. That's,
Me?
I can take it. I can take it. Me.
I'll let
me.
you take it. Let you
Oh
go,
my
Sheep.
gosh! Yay! Yippee! Their strongest aspect was the fact that they were able to just make their lanes float fine. I think they actually went better than I expected for Bait, but things all just worked out for them. I think they were able to get the levels they needed. They brought a lot of heroes to mid and started skirmishing a lot with Arbed. I think that's the best part of them as a team, is that they can identify who is strong and when and bring heroes to them. Like you saw Saberlight, he hits his level 6, he has a helm, he's running mid with his ult, and he's killing his Drow there. And then like the way that they're able to just start taking more and more kills is based off of the fact that they know exactly how far they can push themselves.
Yeah. Also helps that for this anti-mage versus Undying lane, there was, a glimmer of hope for Bait where the Coddle Undying was able to put a little bit of pressure on anti-mage, but they never did enough to really get him out of the lane. There was always that regen getting shipped out. They were in health, of course, on the anti-mage. And then there was that eventual, wait a second, we've now killed him once, we've now killed him twice. The rotations come into play. So for Bait, it was Undying had a good start, but instantly fell off as soon as any rotation come into play. Like Sheep's mentioning, Saberlight, pretty much uncontested, gets to walk mid, gets to have his own game, pretty much top 2 net worth the entire time. And with all these motions coming in, we never really got to see an offlaner be an offlaner. We never got to see Dendi make a move. It's just like, we just saw 5 Bait players kind of on the retreat the entire time. And it all stems from the fact that I feel like when you're going up against Shopify, one of the more stable, stronger drafting teams, maybe, in the world, let's say, I don't think you can be an Undying Coddle opening, That's not going to go Boba, we got you today. You're not ready for this one, you know? Like, it's just, oh, okay, you're doing that. We're just going to continue doing our own draft. And I think maybe the prep work coming into game one from Bait wasn't the best. I think maybe it was a little bit too Bait and less who they're playing against. And Shopify, yeah, they lapped this one up, 12-0-9 on our bed, just, living the dream.
Absolutely, yeah, he destroyed this game. And let's not forget, this was a first phase Lycan as well, Was there anything in Bait's draft which kind of suggested to you that they did have an answer for this Lycan?
I think the idea was the ball up group thing, right? Like they wanted to be able to hit a point where they are just able to stand together and be strong because like the longer the game goes on, you have Dendi on Pango. He's going to get like an Ags. You're going to be disarming the Lycan constantly. It's going to be hard for him to play these fights. I think like that is the idea of their draft. The problem is it doesn't execute. I also think it's weird that Funnick went for a Radiance. I think that made him way slower in his entrance into the game.
Yeah.
But he has phase radiance.
It was a massive issue, honestly.
That was, if you said I was going to watch an offlane Undying today, who also goes phase radiance, I would have thought you were, pulling my leg, mate. Absolutely pulling my leg, having a joke. And
having a giggle.
And it just isn't the one. In a world in which we buy auras and fight, if you're going for a radiance on Undying, someone else needs to alleviate some pressure to allow for that greed. And yeah, I didn't really see it. So yeah, again, for Bait, just a lot of things just didn't work out their way. And yeah, it's going to be a big comeback if they want to win game 2.
Well, we need an MVP for this game, and I think that's pretty easily going to go the way of Abed on this. Storm Spirit absolutely destroying this game 12-0-9, completely uncontested, owning the mid, owning the game, running around all over the place. A moan comes out from Sheep. Well, who did you want to give it to?
Oh, I would have given it to Crit, obviously.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Of course I would,
Yep.
because
Hipster.
Yep, go on.
what is a Storm without his Disruptor? I watch him playing the side lanes. I see this poor little Pangolier sitting there so calm. And then out comes the Static Storm Kinetic Field. In comes the Storm Zip. Then he's dead. And it's like, okay, thank you, Crit, for setting that up. I mean, he was everywhere. He was a part of so many kills. His rotations on the map were very solid. He got those boosts of bearing too and just helped support his team.
Yeah, and for Abed, if he did get the MVP,
He was
MVP. He was pretty.
Yeah.
He also goes top, and because Crit moves to mid, now mid can move to top. The domino effect that you see in a lot of Shopify games, and for Abed, he utilized this early assistance to catapult himself into game. He slaughters Undying. He gives Arteezy free entry to a game as an anti-mage with no real contest. So yeah, again, if you're going into game 2, please put some pressure onto Storm Spirit in the mid, or at least Abed on the mid lane. Don't let this guy just free farm. And also, have some oomph in your side lanes so Crit can't just free up the lane. Like we mentioned on the pre-show, we didn't see it in game 1. Please do it in game 2.
Please. That's what we're asking for you. And, this opening needs to be different. They need to get some lockdown in these first 2 heroes. Last thing as well is like, do you think Arteezy is getting bored? Because like so many of these games now, he's just not had to really do much. Just kind of farms up, rocks up to the last fight. Abed's already 12-0, and he's like, all right, well, guess I'll finish this one. Maybe he's frustrated that he's not getting MVP.
Maybe he should play more fun heroes then. I don't know. Like Anti-Mage is the farm man. He's not going to be getting involved in the game. You could give him like an Ursa Bear. He could come out with a blink at 12 minutes and just go fight.
I mean, he's trying to have fun. He's played Anti-Mage, Drow, Razor, PA, Morph, Pod, Shadow.
None of these sound fun.
But he's as a carry player, he's got versatility. Maybe it's like Bob was like, "Do you want to have fun today?" He's like, "I know it's not going to be fun. Do you want to play a new hero?" It still won't be fun. Maybe he needs himself to, do something. Because on the
camera... He had a lot of fun on the pod, actually.
Yeah, but on his camera, he really is quite... Okay, yep.
You could pick so many other heroes. You could pick stuff that aren't carries in a carry position. You saw TSM yesterday playing their like off-lane Lycan with the techies, the carry Night Stalker, the mid Ricky.
Sure.
Why not get into that sort of shenanigans?
Because they're not guaranteed going to the major just yet.
Exactly.
Right?
It's also a Shopify. Like, do you think Bob was going to go, Arteezy, do you want to play some random carry today? It's like, no, you're going to play your normal carry. We're going to continue winning. We're going to continue being Shopify.
They had an interview with Bulber, and Fear asked him, if he was going to talk to... Oh, no, actually, I asked him if he was going to talk to Arteezy about not building BKB on PA after the game.
That game.
Yeah, and then Bulba turned to Fear and said, what do you think I'm going to say to him? And I was like, this is like two dads talking about how their kid's been naughty. It was a special moment. But we're going to throw it over to a break, after which we shall be back with game number 2 of Shopify Rebellion versus Bait. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you very soon. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the NADPC, where our lovely British panel is getting very excited for another game of North American Dota 2. It is Shopify Rebellion versus Bait in this spiffing series, and I've got two spiffing panelists with me. Guys, what do we want to see coming out from Bait this time around? We want to get some stuns.
Oh, bro, that is sick, innit? I cannot wait for another banging game, innit?
God, street sticked. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say it goes that far.
The way that you said bruv, but also backed away from him, bruv.
No, I started swearing, so I was like, oh, wait, reel it back.
We're working. Oh, God. So what was that about stuns, sorry?
Do you want to see them from Bait this time? You want to see a couple of those abilities?
See a little bit more oomph.
A little lockdown.
That's what T said, more oomph.
More oomph.
What that means.
I mean...
Elaborate.
Oomph basically means you enter the game with a game plan that looks good and also lanes that feel nice. And when I look at Bait's history, at least in their drafts, their nicest drafts are when they have Disruptor, IO, Primal Beast, because these heroes, they don't really... They're very good. They don't like... show a lot in a draft. It's just more like, it's just a hero, you know? But when you're going like the Kottles, Undyings, and you're lacking the stuns or lacking that kind of glue in a lineup, then it can get really hairy really quick. So I just want to see them...
Hairy is bad?
Yes.
Ooh, that's
really
a self-report.
Really bad. But no, I think in this game, for Bait at least, just open the game, Disruptor, IO, something. Just something that isn't game one, please.
You know what I want to see? I want to see them pull out their Alchemist again, okay? I want to see them do that, because that hero...
Yeah,
it looks good. Here for the Alchemist. Here, okay. And here for the draft. Huzzah, friends. Let's get into it. Draft for game number 2, now live between Shopify Rebellion and Bait. And yeah, Alchemist not banned, but Bait are going to get their hands on this Nature's Prophet. Let's see what they can do with it. What's wrong, T?
These bans are amazing. It's just like for Bait, we're talking about Shopify being beast and Lycan strategies all the time, pushing their way through their games, and they enter the phase like, all right, just ban out both. Why not? They're second picked as well, so it's easy to pick it on this position. They go Nature's Prophet. If you're Shopify, it's like Primal Beast 1+1 could be quite a nice response to this.
Yeah.
Don't know about you, Sheep. Any vibes?
Primal Undying, perhaps?
I'm quite vibesing with that. No, they can't pick Primal, I think, because then they just respond with Clock on 8 for bait.
And then, it'd be potentially rough or...
Potentially rough. Maybe not, but potentially. I think Ench is super cool, though. It's nice to see them playing with that, because I think everyone in like Europe and stuff is just going straight for the Disruptors usually, or the Undying. So I'm glad to see Enchantress picking up a little bit more steam in these other regions.
Agreed, yeah. It's a nice pick. And one we're not really seeing a lot of. I think we've seen like 1 or 2 Enchantresses here.
It's in China that it's primarily.
Yeah.
But it's making its way out.
Any region where Baboka is one of the top teams, you're just going to have Enchantresses all over the place.
Shopify's already played it once before into an Age Prophet first pick against Wildcard, but in that game they had Beastmaster to pair it, or at least pair it with in regards to draft, of course not in lane. But again, Ench, the reason why it is so strong and formidable, laning phase, super hard to deal with. It forces, camps to be blocked. They actually take the clock themselves.
Damn.
Okay.
So smart.
Do you think there's flexibility with Ench? Or do you think this is just going to be like crit clock and Ench on 5?
Give me an Ench mid.
In Shopify, if it had been bait, I would have been with you 100%. But for Shopify, I'm not sure.
What do you think? It's